Also auf das Video habe ich wirklich Bock, darauf zu reagieren. Denn das Video heißt The Entry History of Glitches, Exploits in Warzone. Wie gesagt, wurde mir empfohlen, das Video. Ich glaube, Jagot hat zufällig auch irgendwie drauf reagiert. Vielleicht hat derjenige das auch dadurch gesehen. Sieht aber nach einem sehr interessanten Video aus, deswegen...
Call of Duty has never been a stranger to glitches and exploits, and I think a lot of people would argue it's part of the Call of Duty charm we all know and love. So since the launch of Warzone, it's no surprise that we've seen a ton of them throughout its over 4-year lifespan.
Wenn ich das schon sehe.
Since the launch of Warzone, it's no surprise that we've seen a ton of them throughout its over 4-year lifespan. So today I wanted to go through the entire history of glitches and exploits in Warzone. Aside from glitches, we're also going to be including mechanics and items that were abused in a way the developers didn't have intended that became game-breaking. Also, I'm not including any guns for this list because I have a list for that already. From infinite health, invisibility, and disagreement with the laws of physics, there's a lot of glitches on this list I forgot about or never even knew
Ah, da gab's so... Stimmt, das war Warzone 2 mit diesem ganzen...
in the first place, and I'm sure you'll be able to say the same by the end of this video. Go ahead and comment the most game-breaking glitches.
Ist das ist laut genug, das Video? Stim-Glitch. Ich weiß noch, das gab's das erste Mal, glaube ich, in Warzone 1. Eieiei.
We've seen a couple different iterations of this, but the main one essentially just gave you unlimited tacticals. While having unlimited stuns is one way to troll someone, it was unlimited stims that were ruining endgames left and right. This glitch was actually super easy, which made it even more frustrating because anyone and everyone could do it. All you had to do was go down and get revived, and whenever you got revived, you just had to spam whichever tactical you had equipped, then you would have unlimited of that tactical. So this means that you could drop in and immediately do this glitch, then run out of bounds and spam stims for the rest of the game and get a 100% secured win as long as no one else was doing the same thing in your lobby. Gas
Ja, das weiß ich noch.
exploits seem to just go hand in hand in Warzone, and trust me, this is not the last we're going to see of gas exploits on this list. Imagine having a good game, maybe you're even on PR.
Guck dir das an, er hätte 30 Kills machen können in der Runde. Man sieht es jetzt hier so ein bisschen. 30 Kills und stell dir vor, einfach, jemand macht einen Stim-Glitch. Du siehst sie nicht, du findest sie nicht. Es ist...
pace, and you make it to the last zone, destroying all enemies in your path, only to have the final
Das ist
circle
krank.
close on you with no other enemy in sight, and then you die to the gas with absolutely nothing you can do about it. Well, this was a pretty common occurrence just after Warzone launched.
Launch.
The birthdays have been a
Bitress.
staple of Warzone ever since launch, and were even included in Call of Duty Blackout. I think part of
Warte, was stand da? Was habe ich gelesen? Launch Bitress? Was stand da? Bertas, achso.
the birthdays have been a staple of Warzone ever since launch, and were even included in Call of Duty Blackout. I think part of the reason it's the only vehicle with the nickname is because of how dominant and relevant they used to be. Seriously, the launch birthdays were a
Also Warzone 1 war schon... Es war cool, aber es war auch irgendwie eine Psychose, wenn man drüber nachdenkt. Was es gab, Stim-Glitches, Camper Tower, Sniper Tower am Airport. Dann gab es solche in Solos, konntest du nicht spielen. Du konntest C4 across the map werfen. Du konntest mit jeder Waffe gefühlt Leute in Millisekunden beamen, weil die Time to Kill so niedrig war. Und dann hast du noch solche Fahrzeuge.
completely different kind of animal. The main
That's
difference in
right.
pre-patch birthdays was the turn radius, acceleration, and overall speed was seriously no different than that of the four-wheeler, it felt like. Oh, and also, it was pretty much impossible to shoot the driver even if you were aiming directly at them. Once people caught on to how good the birthdays were, Warzone was immediately polluted with Bertha endgame abusers. It seriously created a vehicle meta that was a viable tactic for just farming wins early on. You were pretty much driving an armored truck with all the same speed traits and like handling traits as a four-wheeler. When your car can turn quick, is super fast overall, and pretty much indestructible even if you're shooting directly at
Das
the
war so
driver,
OP.
this makes for a pretty unfair and unbalanced playstyle. If you think
Ich glaube, irgendwann haben sie es gepatcht, aber so direkt am Anfang, du konntest eigentlich sicher sein, dass, wenn auf der Map jetzt irgendwie 4, 5 LKWs gespawnt sind in Solos, dass nahezu jeder, wirklich jeder im Endgame damit rumgefahren ist.
heavy chopper endgames today
Kann sogar gar nicht mehr reden dadurch.
were bad, you haven't seen anything till there's multiple birthdays in the final circle and
Oh,
Warzone just turns into a
sehe
game
ich
of
hier.
twisted metal. Seriously, if you've been playing Warzone since launch, I want you to comment how many games you've lost to Bertha trolls.
Invisibility.
There's another extremely easy glitch that had insane
Stimmt.
benefits. The Rose and Groot skins were a major point of controversy in Warzone since you could often blend into your surroundings and seemingly vanish into thin air. But what if I told you there was a way to actually disappear in Warzone? Well, with this glitch, that was possible. All you had to do was buy a loadout, then stand directly underneath the marker and let it crush you. If done correctly, you would be clipped into the crate, but would eventually be spat back out, and on your screen, everything would be normal, but for everyone else, you were 100% invisible with no way of telling where you were.
System.
This goes without saying, but this made for some of the most unfair encounters you could possibly have in a video game. Being able to run up on an entire team and get to point blank range with absolutely no worry to movement or visibility is probably the craziest exploit we've ever seen in Warzone, but in COD history in general. There is another
Das ist mir zum Glück noch nie passiert, dass ich da jemand Unsichtbares gesehen habe, aber das war schon
version of this glitch in Warzone where you would go prone underneath the armored truck during Armored Royale and once again you become invisible. I'm not sure what caused this to happen. It might be something with the collision. I don't really know, but I hope something like this never ever happens.
Sieht ihn einfach nicht. Infinite Stim Effect. Oi.
This is similar to the stim glitch, but this was more like unlimited stim effect. It wasn't too game breaking, but for sure it gave you the upper hand in most fights. If you wanted to move like you snorted 2 lines of G Fuel until you died, you needed to jump from a height that would kill you, but before you hit the ground, use your stim and then revive yourself. Once revived, you had a permanent stim effect. This meant you not only ran faster, but the biggest advantage you had was a super long slide. I mean, seriously, it was like you were playing Apex Legends. However, to put this thing into overdrive...
Wenn ich hier Caldera sehe. Caldera war schon wild. Ich glaube, ich weiß nicht. Ich muss sagen, ich habe die Zeit auf Caldera an sich enjoyed, auch wenn Vanguard wirklich das größte Schmutz-COD war. Ich hab's schon enjoyed.
And you actually became like the fastest you could ever move in Warzone on foot. It was pretty much like you had stamina up, lightweight, marathon, and juiced all active at once.
Pre-Patch Planes. Oh, true. Ich nehme alles über Caldera zurück. Da war ja was.
Similar to Bertha's, this is just another example of something not functioning the way they had intended in Warzone. I don't know how this always happens, but whoever does the demos for these and like beta testing and whatnot needs to get fired. Alongside Caldera, we got the Plains, which not only brought one of the worst maps into Warzone, but also one of the most no-skill methods for kills we've ever seen. Across Caldera, there were several pilotable planes that were twice as broken as the Bertha's, making them the most broken vehicle we've ever seen. They were fast, which made it very difficult to hit the person flying them or hit the vehicle whatsoever with an explosive. Compare that to a helicopter, which as long as you're facing them head on, shooting at the pilot was pretty easy. Planes were also really easy to fly and to navigate around the map, had decent durability, and they...
Boah. Direkt ein Flugzeug geschnappt und direkt auf Peak hoch, das weiß ich noch. Es war zu OP. Es war ja quasi auch, glaube ich, es gab es, glaube ich, nur in diesem Only Vanguard-Modus, bis dann irgendwann der gesplittete Modus kam mit allen Waffen.
Would even lock onto enemies for you without having to really aim at them. But the main factor with the planes that was so broken that really convinces me that they didn't even bother testing out the values before releasing was the raw damage output. There is countless footage of people exploiting these planes, and even in my kill record video, the kill record on Caldera is held by Hisocat, who got 34 kills before setting foot on ground.
34 Kills, ohne ein einziges Mal seine Waffe abgefeuert zu haben, nur mit dem Flugzeug.
34 kills with a plane. The meta for the longest time was finding the nearest plane off drop and immediately find a team flying in and wipe them before they even got the chance to land, which is something you should never be able to do in any battle royale ever.
Helicopter turrets.
As part of Vanguard Season 2 Reloaded, we had Rebirth Reinforced, which added a ton of new features to Rebirth.
Ja, genau, der Helikopter mit der Minigun.
One of which were the helicopters that had turrets on each side. While I do like this idea and would love to see it added to one of the BR maps like Urzikstan, this simply was not meant to be on Rebirth Island. Shortly after realizing how broken these turrets were, people were immediately going to these helicopters, parking them on top of a water tower or another vantage point, and wreaking havoc on the entire lobby. Specifically on Water Tower, you could pretty much see the entire map aside from Stronghold living quarters and Control, but if you were literally outside anywhere else on the map, you were not safe. The damage and rate of fire were insane on its own, but the real broken aspect was the range and velocity of it. It was pretty much like shooting a laser. Like I just said, you are very vulnerable when you're in a helicopter, but if you started taking shots, you would immediately out damage them because the turret was just that good. It's one thing to commit vehicular manslaughter with helicopters. That's a core Warzone mechanic, and more power to you if that's your thing. These turrets were broken beyond belief. These helicopters saw a very short lifespan as they were taken out of the game shortly after they were added.
Ich glaube, die waren wirklich nur 2-3 Tage drin,
because of all the negative feedback, and if I'm not mistaken, they've never been brought back since.
Infinite Gas Mask, oh ey.
Here's one that I never got to use, but basically this was...
Stimmt, da war ja was. Alleine wenn ich dieses Ich will gar nicht über Warzone 2
Stim glitch,
nachdenken.
but on steroids. Find a gas mask and then go to a stronghold and kill a bot. You also needed a medium or large backpack because this was all possible due to the stowing a third gun mechanic. Now you drop your gas mask near the bot's dropped gun, look at their gun, but slowly strafe towards the gas mask, and once you're prompted to pick up your gas mask, instead, stow the gun. Not only will you duplicate a gas mask into your inventory, it will also have a zillion% when it comes to durability. And apparently 50,000% is enough to survive a whole entire game in the gas. So yes, just another example of storm-related items not working how they're supposed to.
Infinite Battle Rage, Dead Silence. Stimmt. Ich glaube, es war dasselbe, actually. vom Prinzip, wie man es
This is pretty much
erreichen
the
kann.
same as the unlimited stim effect during Warzone Pacific, but with dead silence and battle rage, which I would argue is more broken. The way you did it was super easy. Once again, another shocker. You had to use dead silence or battle rage, then manually equip a different field upgrade to your field upgrade slot. If that sounds too difficult for you, you could just use dead silence, then go to a buy station and buy a munitions box, since that would equip it to your field upgrade slot automatically. Unlike a lot of glitches on this list, I think this one was pretty preventable. I mean, I think using dead silence or battle rage, then buying a munitions box isn't exactly like out of the ordinary, so I think they could have detected this. Anyways, I really don't think having unlimited battle rage is all that game breaking. I would never want unlimited battle rage because your screen gets all yucky and your footsteps are louder and your guns just kind of feel really clunky with the recoil. The real game breaking factor here was having unlimited dead
Silence, das war wirklich OP. Ich habe auch echt einige gesehen, die es genutzt haben, die dann gefühlt die ganze Zeit über die Map so gerannt sind.
silence. Warzone footstep audio is probably one of the most inconsistent features we've ever seen. Sometimes it's super loud, sometimes you can't hear it all. Having absolutely no regard for footsteps for the entire game just because you know you have a limited dead silence makes for a completely different experience. The amount of times I've been sniping on a building just to be overtaken by someone with no audio is super frustrating, and I think at launch of Warzone 2, this was the main reason for that. I would almost put this up there with the invisibility glitch since it created situations you had absolutely no chance in winning no matter how much better you were than someone. Dead silence has become one of the rarest items in Warzone today, and I hope it stays that way because when anyone can have it permanently, it breaks the game.
Field upgrade duplicate.
So this, I guess, also can give you unlimited battle rage.
Kann es sein, dass das meiste gefühlt in Warzone 2 mit diesem Backpack-System war?
Dead silence, but not in the same way. This will simply duplicate whatever field upgrade you want. I never knew how to do this, and even after watching several videos for this video, I still don't understand it. Basically, it's stowing, using, and equipping a field upgrade at the exact same time, and it will pretty much spawn in whatever field upgrade you were going to pick up. I don't really understand it, don't really care to either. Personally, don't think this was all that broken until people started using this to duplicate munitions boxes in the final circle and just spam stims the entire game, once again getting a guaranteed win. But this is nothing like a stim glitch because it actually required like a lot of like manual inputs and like you could easily mess it up. Other than duplicating munitions box for stims in the final circle, this was a very mild exploit.
Underwater truck wasn't... Ja, ich erinnere
The new
mich.
Warzone engine means a slew of new bugs to come along with it, one of which allows you to turn your Bertha into a submarine. All you needed was a Bertha and a body of water. Once you drove into the water, as soon as it was fully submerged, you would lean out of it, and somehow this made the Bertha treat the water as if it wasn't there at all. Like seriously, you were just driving normal as if it was ground, and you could also breathe underwater forever. I think this
Das war auch so gottlos OP.
glitch is hilarious, and sure, it is frustrating if you get killed by someone like this, but the only way you can like really make it work is if you have a water end game, which I guess isn't out of the ordinary. The most broken part about it is that you could still lean out of your car and shoot your fully automatic primaries instead of just being limited to your pistol like everybody else.
Quick Fix, Warzone 3.
When Season 2 of Warzone 3 arrived, I'm not sure if they reworked the Irradiated perk or if it was like the
Ja, Radiated war am Anfang, stimmt. Wie heißt das Perk nochmal in Deutsch,
quick
Radiated?
fix rework that caused this glitch.
War
For
das
some
das-
reason during Season 2, if you use both these
Da war was, wenn du angeschossen wurdest, wurdest du instant gefühlt wieder full.
perks together, you had another
Gehealt.
potential of living in the gas forever. Irradiated was a new perk to Warzone 3 that let you move faster in the gas and also take less damage. Then Quick Fix would immediately start health regen when you started plating up. So this created a gas play cheese meta, which was spamming plates in the gas, which would let you live in the storm forever. I guess the health regen was moving faster than the health taken from the storm, so as long as you had a bunch of plates, you could live in the gas forever. Pretty much every plate you had was a stim, and you could like stow a zillion of them. You could also have armor boxes. There's even this gameplay where like you'd purposely keep a thermite grenade on you so you take damage against your armor plate so you can put another plate in to keep your health going up. Also throw on the fact that you probably have a gas mask and stims as your tactical. I mean, it was just absolutely broken. But with a lot of glitches in Warzone 3, this was removed very quickly after they found it.
New Contract. Was war mit dem New Contract?
Season 3 of Warzone 3, we got Beloved Rebirth Island, and
Ja doch, ich erinnere mich.
alongside that, a new
Das war-
Champions
das war
Quest
so
exclusively
bodenlos.
for Rebirth, which is also the first time we've ever seen a Champions Quest in
Das war-
Resurgence.
also
This
das war
quest is
wirklich frech.
notoriously hard, and I actually just attempted it last week and got absolutely rolled on. Barely even got the first element. Anyways, there was a way to complete this contract and receive all the rewards for it within seconds of starting a game. Basically, after you got your nuke contract unlocked, you would load into a game and start an intelligence contract, and you know how you like use those to hack other contracts? You would use it to hack the nuke
Man konnte diesen Hacker-Auftrag nutzen, wenn man quasi die Wins hatte. Also man muss ja nur 30 Wins generell holen. Oder halt 5 Wins hintereinander. Man konnte das nutzen, dass man einfach den New-Contract hackt und hat dann somit quasi wie lange dauert das Hacken? 30, 40 Sekunden maximal mit dahin gehen und konnte somit die Nuke machen.
Contract and it would immediately complete it. Although the game wouldn't end and the bomb wouldn't go off, the game would think you
Man hat halt wirklich auch die ganzen Sachen bekommen dafür.
completed the contract, so you would get all the rewards for doing so. Camo, the calling card, the charm, the operator skin, and emblem would immediately be rewarded to your locker, giving one of, if not the hardest achievement in all of Warzone history, the easiest exploit to complete it. Anyways, this only lasted a few days, and I don't know if the people who did it were still allowed to keep the rewards after it was patched, and now there is no intelligence contract in the game to prevent this until they fix that bug. Kinda disrespectful to the people who actually completed the contract, in my opinion.
Ist das krank. Glitch-Spots, oh, ja, da kann ich, ob nichts ausgeht, da kann ich mich auch noch an einige unter die Map-Glitches beim Stadium damals auf Verdansk noch erinnern. Das muss hier kommen, 100%.
I wanted to dedicate the last spot on this video to any and all glitch
stimmt.
spots throughout
Ja,
Warzone,
das
because there
war
have
ja
been
auch.
way more than you would ever think, and if I were to like include every single one on this list, this
passiert
video would be
hier?
well over an hour. Spanning across all maps, if you've been playing long enough, you've probably been killed by someone abusing one of these spots before. One thing I don't really understand is that like they make the ground penetrable. I don't know why they don't just make it impenetrable so that way these spots have no use. For some reason, you can always just like shoot through the ground. I don't know what the logic is there. I swear, some people don't even like the game, but just load into private matches just to find any and all spots like these. It's been a staple to COD forever, so
Guter Punkt, glaube ich. Da kommen wir noch dazu, Optics. Wie er schon sagt, ich glaube, es gibt halt wirklich Leute, die halt einfach Warzone spielen, Private Games spielen oder halt irgendwie einfach nur auf der Map rumlaufen, ohne wirklich spielen zu wollen. Sie wollen einfach nur irgendwelche Spots finden, Glitches finden. Das wird es
it's no
100%
surprise that
geben.
there's already a million on Rebirth Island, and I'm sure there'll only be more to come. But that's all the glitches and exploits in Warzone history. There are a handful of other glitches and exploits in Warzone, but I really wanted to focus on the ones that were prominent and really game-breaking.
Ah, das ist das Stadium gewesen, oder? Das war das Stadium hier. Ja, Verdansk Stadium. Cold War Zeit.
In Warzone, but I really wanted to focus on the ones that were prominent and really
Das war so
game-breaking.
bodenlos.
There's like a breathe underwater glitch right now. There's also been glitches that like give you infinite money. If there's any other glitches you think I should have mentioned in this video, please leave them down below. I'm sure there's a handful I missed. Also, I wanted to give a huge shout out to everyone who's been supporting and watching my channel. I just hit 10,000 subscribers last week. Actually, like a couple days ago as of me recording this. It's crazy. I just...
Wait, er hat 10.000 Abonnenten nur? Also Ernie, wie auch immer. Er macht wirklich guten Content. Auch wieder sehr gutes Video, muss ich sagen. Sehr gutes Video. Ist ein bisschen älter, wurde mir aber tatsächlich empfohlen, deswegen habe ich mal gedacht, gucken wir mal ein bisschen drauf, was das Video kann. Aber sehr gutes Video. Ist ein bisschen älter, aber GG's.